the question for this video for the comments. If you had to meet any horror creature in a dark alley or an abandoned building, who would you least like to encounter? I'm doing a PlayBuzz quiz today and it's which horror movie are you? My favourite horror movies are Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play series and The Visit, though it's more of a psychological thriller than a horror movie. I usually get like Friday the 13th and Halloween with these films. They're very common answers. I'm hoping for something a little bit different. If you take the quiz, which I hope you do, links in the description, do let me know what you get. Let's start. What is your favourite horror movie villain? Annabelle, Norman Bates, Kramer, Buffalo Bill, Regan McKeel, Dracula and Jack Torrance. Out of those, I'm going to go with Jack Torrance. Pick a movie. Evil Dead, Suspiria, Frankenstein, The Omen, Final Destination, A Nightmare on Elm Street or Candyman. You cannot make me choose between Final Destination, Elm Street and Frankenstein. But I'm going to go with Elm Street. Pick another movie. Wreck, Rory C, Scream, The Thing, Cabin in the Woods, Halloween, Body Snatchers, Rosemary's Baby. It's quite tough, but because I loved it so much more than I expected to, I'm going to go with The Cabin in the Woods. Torture horror, slasher horror, vampire horror, psychological horror, demonic horror, paranormal horror or asylum horror. Some pretty good ones there, asylum horror, torture horror, but I'm going to go without question with psychological horror. Pick an actor. Tobin Bell, Max von Sydow, Anthony Hopkins, Jack Nicholson, Patrick Wilson, Anthony Perkins, Bela Lugosi. There's an interesting ad down there for something called Kitty Bingo. Hopkins or Lugosi? Hopkins or Lugosi? Quid pro quo, Clarice. It's gonna be Hopkins. Pick an actress. Shawnee Smith, Helen Chandler, Janet Leigh, Shelley Duvall, Jodie Foster, Vera Farmiga or Ellen Burstyn. Let's go with Shelley Duvall. Pick a decade. I'm going to do this purely based on horrors from that decade. 30s, 2000s, 80s, 90s, 60s, 10s or 70s. It's got to be the 80s. Do I consider myself evil, always stressed, two different people, kooky, brilliant, freaky, creative, moral, questionable, a bit paranoid but smart and curious, or an original mind? So many of those apply to me. I'll let you decide if evil, almost demonic is one of those. Creative, moral, questionable. I'm going to go with that one. Calculating results. I am the movie Here's Amy. The Shining is a good film. I do like it. Yeah, I'd say I'm happy with that result. It's not necessarily my favourite of all the films. Of all the films that, you know, of every film ever. But I do like it. It is a good film. And yeah, I think in terms of my personality, that is a pretty good match. And it's rare that these quizzes get something that relates to my personality. So I'm impressed, and I'm particularly interested to know if it's as accurate with you as it was with me.